So, back for another episode of Believe in Boyt, and this time we are going to be using a BUZZWOLE team. So if you haven't checked out the Fun Conventional on BUZZWOLE, then that was released yesterday. Let's go and check that one out and see what kind of BUZZWOLE we are going to be using. So I've basically taken Snow's VGC 17 team, the top 4 worlds team, and adapted that somewhat to VGC 17, because I do have 4 of the same mons on this. That is a Dragonite. Don't see Dragonite too often. Interesting. So, this one looks like if I get up Trick Room, I'll be looking pretty good. Because Nihilego loses to 3 of them. That's my Trick Room Pokemon. Rotom Wash looks pretty good. I'm bringing Rotom Wash. I think I'm still going to go with Nihilego. I'm going to have Rotom. Is BUZZWOLE. BUZZWOLE is not great here. Metagross is alright. I'm going to go Spectria Nihilego. And bring in Rotom Wash. And then the last one, it's just a little bit more awkward. I think I'm going with Metagross. Yeah, I'm going to go with Metagross. Should be okay if they click Tailwind turn 1. So long as they don't like lead with Dracovish or something. Because if they lead with Dracovish and just KO the Nihilego as they Tailwind and I don't Trick Room, then that's pretty bad. Even though I can Will-O-Wisp the Dracovish, I guess. But even then. Okay, that's a Whimsicott. So I'm definitely going for Will-O-Wisp into Dragonite and Trick Room. And we will see how that goes. It's almost certainly going to be a Quake into the Nihilego though, so I could switch into Rotom Wash. That could be worth and then just Trick Room later. Because like surely they have a ground move. Surely they're just going to KO the Nihilego, because that's the big threat. So yeah, I'm going to make the hopefully smarter play of going for just Will-O-Wisp, because I don't want to lose the Nihilego immediately. I can set up Trick Room later, especially if the Dragonite's burned. If they don't Quake the Nihilego / Earthquake, then I'm going to feel quite silly. But let's hope for that. Because that is a Dynamax. So, show me a Quake, please. And don't show me a Lumberry. It's probably a weakness policy. That's surely the most common item on Dragonite. I say common item. Dragonite isn't very common, but it should be. It's pretty good. That was quite cool. It was a bit short, but that was quite a cool cry. So, Quake, please, because this is definitely Tailwinds. That was not a Quake. Where was the respect for Trick Room? Oh, that's disappointing. Well, I feel like a fool. Because that was an immediate win turn 1 if I just went for... Oh, I do land the Will-O-Wisp at least, but that was an immediate win turn 1 if I just went for Trick Room. How much did that do? That did 100... Yeah, so I should survive another one with Spectria, which is quite nice. Is it worth going for a nasty plot? Because they are burned. I'm definitely Dynamaxing my Metagross at this point. I think Nasty Plot is probably greedy, but I'm going to go for... I'm going to attack the Whimsicott, because I can just Ice Punch / Hailstorm the Dragonite whenever I want at this point. That's a special Dragonite. Well, that's not what I expected, but that means that I'm getting Trick Room. I am just bringing in my Nihilego and clicking Trick Room next turn. For sure, because they will not have a ground move if they're special. But will they be able to KO my... Because I didn't Snarl. It might be worth protecting and Snarling. I'm definitely going Nihilego. A special Dragonite was not what I expected. And a real shame I didn't click Trick Room turn 1, but here we are. I'm going to Shadow Ball the Whimsicott. Even though I could have Snarled, because I know they're special now, but so long as I can survive the double up, Nihiligo's got amazing bulk. And Dragonite's not the most specially offensive. Can't remember what is it like, it's 110? I think, somewhere between that. Because I only ever see physical ones. But just Dazzling Gleam. Ooh, okay, so, don't show me a Quake. I'm going to feel so annoyed if he goes for a Quake. That's a Geyser. I'm okay with the Geyser, I think. Maybe. I'm okay with the Geyser. Okay. That's not too bad. I'm going to get a Grimnay as well, which is quite nice. And then Meteor Beam will KO the Dragonite now that the Dynamax will end. And then hopefully I can sweep the Metagross. It's one more turn of Tailwind, right? So Spectria will still underspeed for one turn. Could be Assault Vest on the Dragonite. It probably makes sense to be Assault Vest as well. They're special. And if they have Hydro Pump, then I would assume so. Okay. So I'm definitely going for Shadow Ball into that and Meteor Beam into the Dragonite. I'm getting pretty low though. There's one more turn of Tailwind, right? Okay. Just don't have Bullet Punch, please. Thank you kindly. They have Bullet Punch, that is not ideal. Also, be faster than my Spectria as well. It may not be. It should be, right? No, it should be. Unless it's like minus speed. Or no speed, and then it will speed tie. Okay, hit the Meteor Beam, please. Because this is one of the awkward things about Nihiligo. It does so much damage if it just hits. Okay, got the Power Herb, and it's Charty Berry! Yay! Well, at least it hit. Oh, and the Charty Berry didn't even help. Nice. Nihiligo's a beast. Let's go. And they didn't protect their Metagross. Spectria is going to move first. Yes, no? Yep, and with a Grimnay, surely this is going to KO the Metagross. And we are looking very good. So, even though the Tailwind's going to end this turn and Spectria will almost certainly outspeed, unless it's a Scarf Dracovish, that's the only other thing. At this point I can just click Sludge Bomb and Shadow Ball and then Dynamax my Metagross at some point. That is a Dracovish, we will see if it is Scarfed or not, but I am +1 on my... +2 on my Nihiligo now, because that's another nice thing about the Meteor Beam. If you get the KO with the Meteor Beam, then you get +2. +2 with the Spectria as well. So Nihiligo's going to underspeed and just straight up OHKO the Dracovish, so not bad. They just did not respect Trick Room turn 1, but I guess they couldn't do anything about that. If they would have to have Fake Tearsed and Geysered. But then I could have been Sash anyway, which is where they did go for Dazzling Gleam to break potential Sash. But if I had just clicked Trick Room turn 1, that would have been a lot quicker. But there we go. So, pretty good start. I need to bring BUZZWOLE though, because if this is the BUZZWOLE, Believe in Boyt effectively, then I do need to be bringing that so that I can use it in the thumbnail. I guess I could have technically brought this the last match over Metagross, but that's fine. It definitely has a place in VGC 21 as well. Because there's not too many like hard counters to Urshifu, not the most to Glastrier as well. And I wouldn't consider it a hard counter, but positive against Glastrier. So, gonna find Chinese person. Pretty sure that's Chinese. And there's an Urshifu. Probably the Dark one, because Finny. So, what are we going to do here? Didn't factor in Dragapult too much into this, but then this was an edited VGC 17 team, and that team didn't factor in Dragapult much. But, yeah, looks like I may need to go Spectre and just Dynamax, because my Spectre can survive a Phantasm and respond back with a KO. Or I can do one of my super cheeky things, actually. Because you haven't seen yet. And they won't have seen yet, but I'm going to go with Salamence Metagross, the classic VGC 17. The Torkoal is very much putting me off bringing Buzzwole, so I've got to bring Buzzwole to the next one. Nihilego is pretty good. Oh, but Buzzwole's a good counter to the Urshifu. No, I'm going to bring Buzzwole. Am I going to bring Buzzwole? Rotom's pretty good. And Spectre is pretty good. No. It's a terrible idea, but I'm bringing Buzzwole. Because, you know, Buzzwole. See if I can save my Dynamax for the Buzzwole as well. But it needs to at least hit the field, because, you know, has to be in the first thumbnail. Even if it doesn't do anything in the match. Okay. So, what are we going to do here? So, I'm going to go for Ally Switch and Max Wormwind into the Dragapult. Because you would either be Wormwinding my Metagross or Wormwinding my Salamence or Phantasming my Metagross. So Salamence can take the Phantasm and respond back with a KO with the Wormwind, or they are not doing much damage. They'll probably survive my Wormwind in return because of the attack, but we will see. Just no Ally Switch from them, please. Best one would probably be Phantasm, because then no attack drop, and then I'll be +1 with my Salamence. That cry was really boring. That was just a long note. Okay, it's Helping Hands. That's fine. What are we going to get? Oh, we're going to get the Ally Switch first. And which one? It's Wormwinds. Okay, fair enough. It is into Metagross. Reasonable damage. But can Salamence be strong enough to respond back with a KO at -1? I don't think so. It is Life Orb. It is strong enough. Wonderful. So that's one of the reasons why I have Ally Switch over Protect on the Metagross. I guess we will never know because of that critical hit, because I always never get to find out. So, you know, we take those, but, you know, don't get to find out. But not bad, because now I'm going to get up to neutral again thanks to the Moxie. So that's pretty good. I don't think I can KO the Cresselia this turn, so they would be able to get Trick Room if they want. But that's not so bad. That's Finny. That's okay. So what would be the best way to do this one then? Depends if they have Protect on their Finny. So I don't want to Airstream and then put myself faster because of the potential Trick Room that can come out. And I can't OHKO them, so I'm going to Quake. This only goes wrong with an Ally Switch, but I'm going to Quake and Iron Head the Finny. And if they protect Trick Room, then my Metagross underspeeds them. Okay, they went for Helping Hand. That's okay. So I wonder if this combination will KO. It's a shame I didn't go for Airstream. Airstream would have been a KO. But this is off Bulldoze, so it's not going to be that strong. But it's going to give me a special defense boost, which means I will live. Salamence is tiny. Feels like it should be bigger. But that did not do too much thanks to the boost, and now Iron Head is going to put it in range of whatever else I want to go for. It is Berry. Fair enough. that would be in range of Airstream at this point. I'm going to go for that. And I'm going to Ironhead the Cresselia. Because if Finny disappears and it's Torkoal in the back, then Nihilego should win so long as it's not got a Psychic move. Okay, it did have Ally Switch, fair enough. But now I'm going to Airstream myself faster than the Finny, so that's fine. And the fact that they have Ally Switch means that they do not have a Psychic move, surely. So if it is Torkoal in the back, feeling pretty good about that. Especially with the Airstream boost now as well, so I'll just be able to KO the Finny next turn. And that might be in Leech Life range, it'll be close. And am I living? I'm living, nice. So what would be the best way to do this one now? I think it might be worth bulldozing myself to Ironhead the Cresselia, but then would that be enough? I'm not sure. Because I'm just wary of a berry on the Cresselia. I'm really not sure if that would be enough. No, I'm going to dual wing beat and Ironhead the Cresselia. They ally switch, fair enough. That would be fine for me. But that is a protect on the Finny, so that's fine. Dual wing does connect. No Super Berry, please. That is a Super Berry, so flinch, please. So I should have bulldozed, unfortunately. That would have been more optimal. Depending on this, how much this does. Okay, yeah, it would have been more optimal. They did have Psychic, fair enough, but... So what else do they have? Psychic, Helping Hand, Ally Switch, and what? I do not know. So I think Nihilego is better. But I want to go into BUZZWOLE. Because it needs to hit the field. And, you know, Leech Life will KO the Cresselia. So at this point I can just go for... they just protect with the Finny, right? So I can go for a double up into the Finny with Leech Life and Iron Heads. Then Iron Head would KO the Finny. Yeah, should be fine. So Leech Life and Iron Heads, because with the Airstream my Metagross outspeeds my BUZZWOLE. They did not try and double protect, so this is going to be a double KO. I'm going to get a Beast Boost with the BUZZWOLE. And I should be good now. Like, if it's Urshifu, I'm sorted. If it's Torkoal, I'm sorted with my Nihilego in the back. And if it's whatever the last one was, I'm still fine. I'm very confident I'm fine. That is Urshifu, and that is single strike, so my BUZZWOLE wins, which is nice. So I'm going to go for a dual wing beat just to see how much that does, because that may be able to beat even Focus Sash, and I'm going to be that guy, because I can. Because BUZZWOLE wins now. Fair enough. So I guess a good showing of Ally Switch on Metagross, because I think it makes sense, because if you're Dynamaxing your Metagross, you don't really care about Protect, and Ally Switch is max guard, and then if you're not Dynamaxing the Metagross, Ally Switch is good support. I don't hate being that guy, but, you know, makes sense in my head. And I got BUZZWOLE to hit the field, so, you know, thumbnail achieved. I can do what I want in this game. Okay, interesting. There is a Raikou and an Articuno. This is an interesting one. They've got a Escavalier with no Trick Room. No, there is Trick Room. Articuno has Trick Room. But I can just definitely use Spectria here. Spectria is pretty good. Although my Spectria underspeeds a max speed Raikou. Which is a little bit awkward. But not the worst. think I'm going to go Spectria Metagross, because I can Bulldoze myself immediately, or I can Will-O-Wisp something like the Mamoswine. If they lead Incineroar or Articuno, then I can just Dynamax the Metagross and they can't fake out my Spectria. I can just double the Articuno like that. So that should be fine. I'm going to bring BUZZWOLE because BUZZWOLE and I think Rotom Wash is the last one. Rotom Wash looks pretty good here. So we'll see if they go for a fast mode or if they go for a slow mode. Either way, I should be fine. As long as I hit a Will-O-Wisp against a Mamoswine. Then, and if they lead Incineroar Mamoswine, that will be a bit more awkward. But then I'll just switch into... no, I wouldn't need to, because I could just Will-O-Wisp turn 1. And then they would Quake, give me the boost, and I would KO them back. So, should be fine. That is Articuno Escavalier. Interesting. So, in case they are Focus Sash, I am going to double up into this Articuno. Is it worth going for Dynamax though? Because I think it is in case there's something like Cassette Berry, and getting a Steel Spike boost is not a bad thing. Yeah, that should be fine. If they switch into Incineroar, I guess that was a little bit of a waste of a Dynamax, but you know, just like that. But then I'll just Bulldoze and Quake them next turn. It's fine. And the Escavalier won't be able to respond back with too much. They may even be in range of Quake on the Incineroar anyway, because they can't intimidate my Metagross, so I'm going to do reasonable damage. Are they going to respond with the Escavalier Dynamax? They did not. That's okay. Respectable. And this is also going to be respectable. I'm pretty sure they're going to be in Quake range. But that's definitely Quake range. So I could afford to just Will-O-Wisp the Escavalier now. But then it would be, do they switch back into Articuno immediately on the Quake? Swords Dance was a bit greedy. I actually think the Incineroar is in... if I Bulldoze in their Citrus Berry... I'm going to Bulldoze and Steel Spike the Incineroar, because that will cover an Articuno switch in if they tried to get super cheeky. I.e. this turn. Oh, Finny is fine as well. The Bulldoze chip should put it in range, so my Metagross is very likely to sweep at this point. I'm not really too sure how they break through it. They'll probably KO my Spectria this turn, but that's okay. Then how am I breaking through the Escavalier? It was a good Finny switching because I couldn't Will-O-Wisp them this turn, but I could have Will-O-Wisp them last turn. But with my Steel Spikes, I should be living, actually. Okay, necessary chip on the Finny. It should KO, right? Metagross is pretty strong. And because of Clear Body, I haven't been intimidated. What did I have in the back? BUZZWOLE and Rotom. Okay. Okay, nice. And with the +2, matching the +2 on the Escavalier, Spectria should be living whatever happens, so should be okay in that regard. Okay, good. And then if it's Articuno, then I'm just going to double up into that. If it's Incineroar, I think I still just Steel Spike the Incineroar. So I'm not really sure how they break through my Metagross easily. I just need to keep Rotom in the back, like outside of... Yeah, I'll be able to do that. I can pretty much guarantee at this point that Rotom hits the field after the Dynamax of Escavalier is gone. So which is optimal, because I can't Will-O-Wisp. Might be an idea to switch out into Rotom this turn, actually. Or even BUZZWOLE. BUZZWOLE with a defense boost could be nice, but then BUZZWOLE is pretty useless now, actually. Yeah, so I'm going to switch into BUZZWOLE to preserve the Spectria. And Steel Spike is enough on the Incineroar. It's going to be pretty close. But I believe in it. And they did not switch, so I could have quaked. But this should be strong enough. It is strong enough, because Metagross is a beast. Articuno can't touch Metagross really at all. And Escavalier is now, like, even though they're +2, they're facing down +3 defense Metagross. And BUZZWOLE should be able to strike off the Steel Spike. Probably should have been Rotom, but that did more than I expected. Well, I forgot about the +2, didn't I? So now, if they are Sash and Trick Room, no, that's still fine. Because they either attack and don't Trick Room, or they do and they are KO'd. So either way, that should be fine. Because I will double Ice Punch the Articuno at this point. Could Leech Life. How much do I believe in BUZZWOLE? I don't think that helps, actually, because I'm being KO'd to Steel Spike at this point regardless, so I'm just going to double Ice Punch the Articuno. Okay, this looks like Trick Room. It's going to be strong enough. It's Weakness Policy. Yep, fair enough. Weakness Policy is a good item on Articuno, but I just need my Metagross to be stronger than my BUZZWOLE, and I'm pretty sure I EV'd it to be stronger, so this combination should KO. Okay, good, and then I'll just slowly be able to beat the Escavalier at this point. They quaked, so that means I'm surviving this, because of all my defense boosts, so that's fine. And yeah, I'm just going to slowly chip away at them at this point. And amusingly, I think it's better to Ally Switch this turn, because they either Iron Head KO my BUZZWOLE, or they... It's Drill Run, isn't it? Yeah, Drill Run KO my Metagross, and if I Ally Switch, neither of those things can happen, and I'll get an extra attack before Rotom hits the field. So I'm pretty sure this is optimal. And this should do reasonable damage, even the +2 defense. But that's not bad. It's going to be pretty close. Rotom might not be strong enough. It depends. They're not Assault Vest, though. But yeah, Iron Head into the Metagross, good. So I should be fine now. As long as they're not like a berry of some sort, then I should be fine. Is it better to... I don't think it's better to Ally Switch again. Because I might as well just get that tiny bit more chip at this point, I think. So I'm gonna Stomping Tantrum, and I'm going to Close Combat again. Just don't be some kind of berry. Okay, I'll just crit and win anyway. I'm pretty sure I was fine regardless, because Rotom would have been able to do enough damage. I'm pretty sure. Like, factoring in how much the Close Combat did before, that would have brought it down to just below half. And then, you know, should have been okay. We will never know, but pretty good start to the week. Let's see if we can carry on with the BUZZWOLE, because it did some work in that last game.